Two skills wait in this lesson. First, the synopsis, the power to take any verb and run it top to bottom through every tense you know in both voices in a single breath. Second, a new job for the ablative case, the case that carries the idea of from. Hear it work.
Fera Diana nekatur.
The wild beast is killed by Diana. By the end, you will run any verb through its whole life in seconds and read that little word from in 3 different ways. First, 12 new words. Begin with 4 verbs. The first.
Absum.
To be away, to be absent, to be distant. It leans on the ablative of separation, the from case you meet later today. The second verb.
Ad propinquo.
To draw near, to approach. Think of propinquity, nearness. This one takes the dative, because nearness to weighs more than motion toward. The third.
Contineo.
To hold together, to hem in, to keep, you can hear contain inside it. The fourth.
Discedo.
To depart, to go away, to leave. It too leans on the ablative of separation. 4 more verbs. The first.
Egeo.
To lack, to need, to be without. It also takes the ablative of separation, to be without something. The second.
Interficio.
To kill. The third.
Prohibeo.
To restrain, to keep from. You can hear prohibit. The fourth.
Vulnero.
To wound, think vulnerable, able to be wounded. The last 4 words. 2 nouns, an adjective, and an adverb. The first noun.
Provincia.
A province, a territory that Rome governs. The second noun.
Vinum.
Wine, now the adjective.
Defessus.
Weary, worn out. And the last, an adverb.
Longe.
Far, far away by far. Now the first skill, the synopsis. To give a synopsis is to take one verb, fix a single person and number. Here, the first person singular, meaning I, and run it through every tense in both voices at once. Here is the model, the verb meaning to love. First, the 3 indicative tenses, active beside passive, present, imperfect, future.
Amo amor. Amābō amabar. Amābō amabor.
I love and I am loved. I was loving and I was being loved. I shall love and I shall be loved. Next, the command, active.
Ama.
Love thou, then the infinitive, active and passive.
Amare. Amari.
To love, to be loved. One elegant twist. The passive command is the very same form as this active infinitive, a single shape doing 2 jobs. The second conjugation runs the identical slots. Take the verb meaning to warn.
Moneō. Moneor. Monēbam. Monēbar. monēbō. Monēbor.
I warn and I am warned. I was warning and I was being warned. I shall warn and I shall be warned. The command, active.
Mone.
Warn now, the infinitive, active and passive.
Monere. Moneri.
To warn, to be warned. Same 5 rows, same 2 voices. Only the vowel running through the stem has changed. The first 2 conjugations both build their future the same way, with the marker you just heard. The third conjugation breaks the pattern in exactly one place. The future. Watch the verb meaning to rule.
Regō regor. Regebam. Regebar. Regam regar.
I rule and I am ruled. I was ruling and I was being ruled. Then the future. I shall rule, I shall be ruled. This future drops the marker you met before and simply changes its vowel. The command, active.
Rege.
Rule thou, the infinitive, active and passive.
Regere. Regi.
To rule, to be ruled. Again, the passive command echoes the active infinitive. Now the special third conjugation verbs that carry a short I, like the verb meaning to take.
Capiō. Capior. Capiebam. Capiebar. Capiam. Capiar.
The command active.
Cape.
The infinitive, active and passive.
Capere. Capi.
It keeps that short I through the stem, but takes the very same shifting future. I take, I am taken. All the way down to take and to be taken. The fourth conjugation, the verb meaning to hear, uses the same shifting future as the third.
Audiō. Audior. Audibam. Audibar. Audiam. Audiar.
The command active.
Audi.
The infinitive, active and passive.
audire, audiri.
I hear, I am heard, down to hear and to be heard. A synopsis need not begin with I. Give it in any person. Most useful is the third, he or she and they. Try one. Take the verb, meaning to teach, and give its present indicative, third person singular, active then passive. The answer.
Docet, docetur.
He teaches, he is taught. Now the second skill, a fresh job for the ablative case. The ablative gathers three great relations, and one of them is the idea English carries with the word from. Call it a separative ablative, the from ablative, and it obeys three rules. Rule 1, the place from which. To name motion away from a place, put that place in the ablative with one of three prepositions.
Agricole ex agris veniunt.
The farmers come from the fields. Three prepositions share this work, each with its own picture. One means away from beside a place.
Ab.
Another means out from within it.
Ex.
And the last means down from it.
De.
Picture a single spot with three parts leaving it. One slipping away from its side, one coming out from inside, one running down from the top. Rule 2, separation. Some words mean to set apart, to free, to lack, to be without, and they need an ablative to complete their sense. The idea of from is baked into the word, but here lies a subtle fork. When the separation is real, one solid thing pulled away from another, you keep the preposition.
Perseus terram a monstris liberat.
Perseus frees the land from monsters, real motion away, so the preposition stays. But when the separation is only figurative, with nothing actually moving, the preposition falls away.
Perseus terram tristisia liberat.
Perseus frees the land from sorrow. Sorrow does not march off, nothing physical moves, so the bare ablative alone carries the from. This same fork governs today's verbs of separation. To lack or to be without is figurative deprivation. So it takes the bare ablative alone with no preposition, but to be absent and to depart mean real distance from a real place, so they keep their preposition, as you will see in the exercises. Rule 3, the personal agent. When a passive verb names the person by whom the action is done, that person stands in the ablative with a preposition.
Ab.
Word for word it still means from, yet we translate it by watch a monster meet its end.
Monstrum a Perseo necatur.
The monster is being slain by Perseus. Turn the sentence active and the pieces trade places.
Perseus monstrum necat.
Perseus is slaying the monster. Going from active to passive, the object becomes the subject, and the old subject becomes the agent. The ablative marked with the preposition that means by a person. One trap remains. In English, both a tool and the person can be the by, killed by an arrow, killed by a hunter. Yet Latin marks them differently. A person who acts is the agent and takes the preposition. A thing used is the means and takes no preposition at all, compared to death of one wild beast. First, killed by a thing.
Fera sagitta necatur.
The wild beast is killed by an arrow. The arrow is the means, a bare ablative, no preposition. Now killed by a person.
Fera Diana necatur.
The wild beast is killed by Diana. Diana is the agent, so the preposition returns. Remember the rule. A thing needs no preposition. A person always takes one. Time to read. 5 sentences gather today's words and the rules. Translate each in your head before I do. First.
Viri in opia cibi defessi abeo loco discedent.
The men, weary from lack of food, will depart from their place. Second.
Germani castris Romanis ad propinquabant, tamen legatus copias aprelio continebat.
The Germans were approaching the Roman camp, yet the officer kept his forces from battle. The camp sits in the dative after approach, while battle takes the from ablative. Third.
Miseri naute vulnerantur ab inimicis se vis et cibo egent.
The wretched sailors are wounded by the savage enemy and lack food. Here the enemy is the personal agent with its preposition, while food is a bare separative after lack. Fourth,
Copie nostre a prelio continebantur ab sexto legato.
our forces were being kept from battle by Sextus the officer. One sentence, the same preposition twice, once for separation and once for the agent. Fifth,
Id oppidum ab provincia romana longe aberat.
that town was far distant from the Roman province. Now the reverse, you build the Latin. I give the English, you shape the sentence, then hear it. First, they were without food and without wine.
Cibo et vino egebant.
Lack takes the bare separative ablative, no preposition. Second, then Galba and 7 other men are sent to the ancient island by Sextus.
Tum galba et septem aliviri, e sexto ad insulam antiquam mittuntur.
By Sextus is the personal agent, so the preposition writes with the passive verb. Third, already they are not far away from the land, and they see armed men on a high place.
Ion a terra longi non absunt, et viros armatos in loco alto vident.
To be absent draws the separative ablative for the land. Fourth, the men kept hurling their weapons down from the high place with great eagerness.
Viri tela di loco alto magno studio iaciebant.
Down from is the place from ablative, while the great eagerness is a bare ablative of means. Gather it together. You now hold 2 powers. First, the synopsis. Fix a person and number, then run any verb through present, imperfect and future in both voices, plus its command and its infinitive. The first 2 conjugations building the future one way, the third and fourth shifting the vowel instead. Second, the ablative that means from in 3 rules. The place from which, with its 3 prepositions, separation, where real motion keeps the preposition, but figurative separation drops it, and the personal agent, the by a person that every passive verb takes, never to be mistaken for the bare ablative of means. 12 new words rolled along. Next lesson, these tools start building real Roman sentences. To practice what you just learned, this course has free exercises and AI-graded feedback on ludium.ai. The link is in the description.